In this episode, we are driving and driving and driving. We have to get all the way across Texas. We're going from Shreveport, Louisiana to Big Bend National Park. And we have a few cool stops on the way. We made it to Texas, our fifth state in our trip. And we are headed to Magnolia Market, which has a really cool story behind it.
I did the points this morning. The bus is running great. Yesterday we did, I think, 250 miles or something, our new record for one day. And this morning it was still sluggish, but I fixed the points, so it's great again. So now I know that's one of the issues, and we're just finding a park so that we can get the famous cupcakes and coffee.
Yes, and see the market. We are Nacho and Claire. Join us for our trip around the USA with our 1969 VW camper, the blue Doobie. A couple from Texas told us that if we wanted to avoid the big cities, we could still find some culture and some fun things to eat at Magnolia Market. So we ended up here and we spent the afternoon and got some lunch. One of the main agricultural products in Texas is pecans, so we couldn't resist some Texas pecan coffee. Left the market and it was really cute, super fun. Didn't really expect it after like a long drive, and it's just a beautiful little place in the middle of nowhere, and the Doobie's driving great because of what Nacho did earlier, so that's awesome.
My favorite part was the green Jeep. It's they used to build those in Argentina also at Tanciera. And there's a whole culture around them similar to the VW culture. They like camping and everything, and this part of Texas has a bunch of them laying around, and I hadn't seen one in a long time, and I don't think I'd seen one in the US, so that was pretty cool.
We are zooming through Texas at top speed. We are going a full 45 miles an hour. Look at us go. The speed limit is 75, but we are going 45. That might be like the minimum.
But we also have the road to ourselves, and the best part about driving west is that we have our own private sunset in front of us every day.
Yes.
In the fields of Texas with all our longhorns.
So beautiful. And we've seen like so many animals. We've seen like, one, we saw a zebra. Two, we saw albino deer. Some guy was breeding them. And then we saw like all these beautiful cows and little goats, and it's like baby season or something. There's so many baby goats everywhere. They're so cute. And what else did we see?
There was also a place where it was a breeder and they had half dog. We didn't pull in, but it seemed pretty interesting.
Yeah, and Nacho had his first experience in Tractor Supply Co. Great store. And yeah, just driving and driving and driving. Texas is pretty gorgeous, honestly. We also drove through a whole town that was all pecan farms. So we stopped and we got some pecans, which is really cool. I've never had like fresh pecans, so super exciting.
We ended up getting a private waterfront spot in Brady Lake and made it just in time for the sunset. After the sunset, we went out to explore the area and found an indoor night fishing setup where the locals catch crappies, a very interesting name for a fish.
The next day, before heading out, we met a super cute cat and we named him Brady after the lake.
Iran, Texas to get some authentic Mexican food, and we just hit 3,000 miles since we bought the bus. Big milestone.
Poor Doobie was retired and now it has driven 3,000 miles and we're in the middle of Texas in like this windstorm and we're like shaking back and forth.
It's crazy. I have to pay a lot of attention because the wind comes from both sides and it's extremely strong. There's wind farms everywhere, so obviously it's a good place if you're trying to get wind.
Like I said earlier, in this episode we were driving and driving and driving and driving. We had about 800 miles to cover from Louisiana to Big Bend National Park. And of course, we go the slow way, so that probably means we had about 1,200 miles to go. We wanted to get some authentic Mexican food, but instead we ended up getting some Texan food. We got some authentic Texan brisket. Sometimes we're not really sure whether or not we count as a tent or an RV. Usually we try to count as a tent. We put down our ladder and it touched just a little bit on the grass. We thought the head of the campground would be angry, but she just came out to check out our rig. The dude's a bit cranky this morning, right?
Points.
Is this the third time we have to do the points? 4.
We're doing points every 300 miles, it should be 3,000, but I don't know. There's no power, it starts backfiring again, then it works fine. We run great for 300 miles, and then the next morning, but now I know how to do it, which is good. And we stopped at the dinosaur store, got some dielectric grease. I will try to lube the shaft to see if that keeps the little plastic from corroding and closing the points. It's my only roadside attempt.
And what did he say about the store?
Oh, they have everything there. It's like, I don't know what I asked if it was a hardware store. He said it's an everything store. And they were super nice in there.
What is that?
So I pulled the cap of the distributor and looks like dust, but this is the plastic that keeps the point open, breaking apart every day, and it's in the rotor, it's everywhere, so the points close up and then we don't have spark. And there's a bit of grease on the side of this plastic that is corroding from factory. It comes with a strip of grease. That's why I'm guessing more grease would help it, because clearly this is dry and rubbing off every day.
I'm laughing, but he's fixing it. So.
I'm laughing. At least I know what it is.
Yeah.
If this was all good, then I wouldn't know what's wrong.
Yeah. Also, the Doobie's not a morning gal.
Look, show in here. There's our points covered in that brown plastic dust, and the points look close to me. I'm happy because we have everything we got in the mail. These are the 0.4 millimeter gauge, and it's closed. I try to fit this in there and it won't go, which means it's too small. And now I'll open it up and try again.
For those who are interested, this is the inside of the store, and it really did have everything. Sounding amazing, and we're back on the road. Now we're getting to the part of the trip that we were most looking forward to, which is all the national parks. So we have 4 national parks lined up. Big Bend, Guadalupe Mountains, the Caverns, and then White Sands. So we're on our way to start doing that.
We also have the roads I wanted, like
Driving an old bus on a trip like this is a lot of fun, and also extremely challenging. Every day brings us a new surprise, which can be amazing, horrible, or anything in between. It can get exhausting sometimes, but we love it. It's the vehicle we chose to drive, and now the Blue Doobie is a part of our family.
If you want to find out more about our journey, please hit subscribe and follow along. We are traveling around the USA in our 1969 VW bus, and we would love if you came along with us.